So this news just dropped. Trump threatens to pull out of Harris debate. Hot mics an issue. This quote right here says, I want to do debates, but she, the head of ABC, is her comrade's best friend. He is determined to connect her name with being a comrade in communism. He is determined. Is it sticking, y'all? I don't know. The campaigns of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris clashed on Monday over next month's U.S. presidential debate, with the VP's team seeking a return to open mics, while her Republican rival threatened to pull out entirely, suggesting the previously agreed upon ABC network was biased. Why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network? Trump, who is making his third bid for the White House, wrote in a social media post late Sunday night that also accused the network of bias. Stay tuned. Harris spokesperson Brian Fallon said on Monday the VP's campaign wanted the broadcaster to keep the candidates' microphones on throughout the event, not muted when their opponent was speaking, as in the last presidential debate. The so-called hot mics can help or hurt political candidates, catching offhand comments that sometimes were not meant for the public. The VP is ready to deal with Trump's constant lies and interruptions in real time. Trump should stop hiding behind the mute button, Fallon said in a statement. Trump campaign senior advisor Jason Miller said in a statement they had already agreed to the same terms as CNN's June debate, which had muted mics, adding, we said no changes to the agreed upon rules. But Trump later told reporters that he preferred to have his microphone kept on, adding that he did not like it muted last time and that he was not preparing for the face-off against his new rival. Doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on, but the agreement was that it would be the same as it was last time, Trump said. I'm not spending a lot of time on it. I think my whole life I've been preparing for a debate. You can't cram all that knowledge in 1 week. So there's a little debate prep, but I've always done it more or less the same way. I bet you Kamala Harris is preparing. I bet you they're preparing. And they know that he's going to want to go off cuff. He's going to want to ad lib. He's probably going to be all over the place. And I'm sure that she is preparing to bring it back to the points. I cannot wait to see this debate. And I really do hope they agree to the terms. Now we have news coming out of forced birther Christo-fascist state, Texas. This is coming out of NBC News. Texas AG raids homes of Latino civil rights group members, setting up a voting rights showdown. The raids have triggered outrage and cries of voter suppression in a state with a long history of discrimination against citizens of Mexican descent, which helped give rise to LULAC. Raids on the homes of several Democrats in South Texas in what the state's AG said is an ongoing election integrity investigation has set off a showdown with the nation's oldest Latino civil rights group. The August 20th raid targeted Manuel Medina, chair of the Tejanos Democrats, several members of the League of United Latin American Citizens, a state house candidate, and a local area mayor. This is Lydia Martinez, who volunteers for LULAC and also does voter registration, questioned the search of all of her belongings. The raids have triggered outrage and accusations of voter suppression in a state with a long history of discrimination against its citizens of Mexican descent, which gave rise to LULAC in 1929. On Monday morning, LULAC leaders, state legislators, activists, and other Latino groups and supporters, and some of the people whose homes were raided, protested outside of San Antonio office of the Attorney General Ken Paxton, a Republican. This is point-blank voter intimidation, and LULAC will fight for the right of every Latino to exercise the right to vote, said Roman Palomares, LULAC's national president. A copy of a wide-ranging search warrant left with one of the people targeted, LULAC volunteer Lydia Martinez, 87, of San Antonio, offered a window into the investigation's interests. The warrant ordered the seizure of all electronic devices at her home, allowed for the opening of documents that were business organization or election related, and authorized swabbing DNA. Oh my goodness. This is so invasive. According to the warrant, the purpose of the search was to look for evidence of violations of the Texas election laws regarding vote harvesting and identity fraud. Medina's home was also forcibly entered in the early morning of August 20th, according to a filing from his attorney. Officers woke up Medina, his wife, and two young daughters and rummaged through the residence for 7 hours, the attorney said, searching through living spaces, closets, kitchen, bathroom, garage, and the family's bedrooms. Officers seized 65 cell phones and 41 computers and storage devices, the filing said. Two Democratic consultants who weren't knowledgeable about Medina's business or the investigation said someone running an election phone banking or canvassing operation can have multiple phones and computers for volunteers and staff. Medina's attorney was granted his request for an injunction to block the Attorney General or any other state officials from reviewing the documents or disseminating them. A hearing on the search and seizures was set for September 12th. In his filing request, the injunction, Medina's attorney and authorities seized almost 65 cell phones and 41 computers, digital and other storage devices, papers, documents, and family and other photographs. The attorney and Medina declined comment when reached Friday by NBC News. There is no poll tax. There is no white-only primary. There is no going back. We will not go back, Domingo Garcia, LULAC's former president, said during Monday's protest. Garcia now heads a recently formed LULAC Political Action Committee that endorsed Kamala Harris. Paxton, who announced the raids Thursday in a news release, has been outspoken in advancing baseless claims about voter fraud, particularly about non-citizens voting in the upcoming election. There's a reason Joe Biden brought people here illegally, Paxton said on a radio show earlier this month. I'm convinced that's how they're going to do it this time. They're going to use the illegal vote. Why were they brought in? Why did he bring in 14 million people? He brought them here to vote. Paxton falsely claimed that immigrants were being given Social Security numbers at the border as part of the scheme, too. There is no evidence of that or that non-citizens cast ballots in any significant numbers. In the release announcing the raids, Paxton said his office would have no further comments on the investigation. NBC News reached out Friday and has not received a response. But the release did state that raids were part of a 2-year investigation based on allegations of voting and election violations from Audrey Gossett Lewis, a DA for 5 area counties. Latino leaders called on the Department of Justice to investigate and are alleging the raids are a political move to suppress Latino votes. A Justice Department spokesperson said they are aware of the matter but declined to comment. It's disgraceful and outrageous that the state of Texas and its highest-ranking law enforcement officers is once again using the power of his office to instill fear in the hearts of community members who volunteer their time to promote civic engagement, says Gabriel Rosales, Texas State Director of LULAC, which focuses on Latino economic, political, and civil rights. 9 armed officers at the door. Up early as usual to water her plants, Martinez answered a knock at the door at 6 a.m., and in walked a group of armed men and women with police badges and riot shields and a search warrant, she told NBC. Still in her nightgown, Martinez was asked to change clothes. Instead, she said she was forced to sit in her dining room answering questions while agents rummaged through for 4 hours through just about everything in her 2-bedroom home. 2 of the officers stood guard over her. This is what these people are doing. If this does not sound like some dystopia, this should really aggravate and really light a fire under people who still want to live in a free society. We are going towards Christo-fascism, and you should see that with these news articles. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. All right, so we have some cybersecurity news. Telegram CEO arrested over probe into child porn, drug trafficking on app. Pavel Durov, the Russian-born founder of messaging app Telegram, was arrested in France as part of an investigation into crimes related to child porn, drug trafficking, and fraudulent transactions on the platform, French prosecutors said on Monday. French President Emmanuel Macron making the first official confirmation of Durov's arrest since he was detained at Le Bourget airport outside of Paris on Saturday evening, said there was no political motive in the arrest, despite many false comments online. He added that France remains deeply committed to free speech, lawful free speech. The arrest of the Telegram president on French territory took place as part of an ongoing judicial investigation, Macron wrote on X. This is in no way a political decision. It is up to the judges to decide. In a subsequent statement, Paris prosecutor Laure Becqueux said Durav was arrested as part of a probe into an unnamed person launched by the office's cybercrime unit on July 8th. The investigation is over suspected complicity in various crimes, including running an online platform that allows illicit transactions, child porn, drug trafficking, and fraud, as well as the refusal to communicate information to authorities, money laundering, and providing cryptographic services to criminals, the statement said. Durav could be held until Wednesday, it added. Reuters was unable to reach any lawyer representing Durav. Telegram is a popular messaging and social media app akin to WhatsApp. The encrypted application with close to 1 billion users is particularly influential in Russia, Ukraine, and the republics of the former Soviet Union. Durav's arrest prompted criticism from ex-owner Elon Musk, who said that free speech in Europe was under attack, and calls from Moscow for French authorities to accord Durav his rights. Tensions between France and Russia have been mounting for months, with French authorities accusing Russia of trying to destabilize it ahead of the Paris Olympics in response to its more hawkish stance on the Ukraine war, claims Russia denies. Durav, a 39-year-old billionaire cast as Russia's Mark Zuckerberg, has dual French and United Arab Emirates citizenship, estimated by Forbes to have a fortune of $15.5 billion. Durav said in April, some governments have sought to pressure him, but the app should remain a neutral platform and not play in geopolitics. Telegram gave no details of the arrest, but said the Dubai-based company abided by European Union laws and its moderation was within industry standards and constantly improving. And this is the man right here. Telegram CEO Pavel Durov has nothing to hide and travels frequently in Europe. It is absurd to claim that a platform or its owner are responsible for abuse of that platform. The Kremlin on Monday said it had yet to see any official French accusations against Durov. We do not yet know exactly what Durov is accused of, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told a news briefing. With what exactly are they trying to incriminate Durov? Without knowing, it would probably be wrong to make any statements. The Russian embassy in Paris said on X that French authorities had declined to cooperate with its request for consular access, but said it was in contact with Durov's lawyer. The embassy did not respond to a request for comment. Telegram was founded by Durov, a self-confessed libertarian who left Russia in 2014 after he refused to comply with demands to shut down opposition communities on his VK social media platform, which he has sold. He obtained his French passport in 2021 through a rare fast-track procedure for high-profile foreigners, exempting them from the usual legal requirements, including having lived in the country for at least 5 years. The French Foreign Ministry, which is in charge of the procedure, did not reply to a Reuters request for comment. Elysee presidential office also declined to comment, deferring to the Foreign Ministry. According to French law, any foreigner can be granted citizenship under the special rules provided he speaks French and contributes through his outstanding works to France's influence and prosperity of its international economic relations. Durov never lived in France, and it was unclear what special link he had to the country. On June 10th, Durov posted in his Telegram channel, "As a French citizen, I agree that France is the best holiday destination. His naturalization procedure is rare, with only 10 to 20 cases processed each year, and each one requiring high-level political support," local media have reported. Evan Spiegel, the co-founder of Snap, the maker of Snapchat, received French citizenship in 2018 under the same program. Local media reported at the time. Snap did not respond to requests for comment, and that has nothing to do with the post. So, okay, we're going to move on. Go ahead, let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.